Welcome to Lessons from History, where we learn from the mistakes of the past, of which there are many. Speaking of which, today's event is the sack of the Temple of Jerusalem. Can you remember the date? That's right, 70 AD. Now, the mnemonic device was troops walking into Jerusalem with 70 on their shields and smoke rising out of the temple, spelling out our date. To perhaps further ingrain that in your mind, imagine the sound of marching troops to make it more real to you. So what's the lesson from this history? Well, it's this. Don't let zealots take over. Now, the word zealot at the time wasn't the catch-all term it is today for like a fanatic. Josephus, a Jewish historian, called them the fourth sect, next to the Pharisees, Sadducees, and Essenes. Simon the Zealot, for example, was a disciple of Christ, and obviously he changed over time. But zealots themselves, and how they earn the name, are those who behave in a way that kind of resonates to us today, is that they're people who are so invested in their faith that they, classic, forget what their God actually wants and starts murdering people. So that's the religious context of zealot, and we can apply zealot to other things. Now, when Jerusalem came under siege, the city pretty much fell into the hands of the zealot leadership, who had killed moderate Jewish leaders like Anas ben Anas. The zealots' desire was to fight the Romans, who were besieging the city, in case you have forgotten, and this led them to destroying parts of the city by setting them on fire. Then the zealots had nowhere else to retreat to but the Temple Mount, zealots like Simon ben Gloria. The Romans therefore had no choice but to sack the temple. Despite wanting it as a prize, in the chaos it was burned down. So the actual lesson might really be this. Don't let zealots take over. And zealots, if you're watching this, don't let zealots take over as well. Don't let them take over nations, religions, whatever. Otherwise, you will quite likely lose everything, even the thing that you're fighting for. No, really. If you're all in a political movement, philosophy, or in this case a religion, maybe don't let the zealots be in charge. And zealots, you don't let zealots be in charge either, especially if you want your thing to continue to exist. The end of the temple was not the end of Jewish resistance to Roman rule, but it was a blow that they could not recover from. Because of all the zealots' refusal to work with Rome at all, their belief that their cause was so righteous that they had to create murder and mayhem ultimately ended their cause, and Judaism became centered around rabbis as opposed to the temple which God had ordained. Today in America, for example, zealots are Christians who are trying desperately to cling to power and return America to a Christian nation that it never was. In the end, it will possibly destroy America. Not because it will invite retribution from Rome, of course, but because zealots can't actually live their faith out properly or peacefully. And that kind of hatred and rage and revenge streak destroys countries. So people and zealots, don't let the zealots be in charge, because if you do, your temple might be gone forever. Thanks for watching.